back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I'm here today to do a book haul because I went to a very exciting Galance or Orion event very recently. It was organised by my wonderful friend and the expert Stevie, who works on publicity at Galance. She is wonderful. She has a channel, I will put a link to it, but she's also a boss in publishing, and she arranged the whole event and invited lots of reviewers and bloggers and vloggers and booktubers to come along, enjoy an evening of a bit of wine, a bit of pizza, and a lot of books and authors. So that is exactly what we did. We had a lovely time, and they also gave out some books. So I've got a selection of the books that they were giving out to show you guys, the ones that I was most interested in, and I'm going to talk a bit about those. And then I also have quite a few books that I have picked up over the last while for myself, because I just wanted to. I also got promoted at work recently, so I was kind of celebrating by buying some books because we all know I don't have enough books already. So let's get started. The books that I got at the event are The House of Binding Thorns. This is the paperback by Aliette de Bodard. It's the second one in the series, I believe. The first one was A House of Shattered Wings. I have not read the first one, and I've heard mixed reviews on the first, but this is such a beautiful cover, and I do want to give Aliette de Bodard a try because I haven't actually given her a try yet. I think I might like this, you know, so I'm intrigued, and I do want to pick up the first. I don't have it, but as the second was there, I thought I might as well pick it up. I've just discovered it's also a signed edition, so that's really cool too. The next book is one I'm definitely looking forward to reading. This one comes out in October of this year. It is called The Last Namsara, and it's by Kristin Ciccarelli. I'm not certain that's how you say it. I apologise if I'm wrong. I think this is her debut book. It's about dragons, I believe, and that instantly was like a yes, please, tick the box. But we had an interview with the author over Skype whilst we were at the event, and she was lovely, so that made me more curious. I'm not sure if this is technically YA or not, but I'm looking forward to it either way. And I believe in this world, stories are a really terrifying and deadly thing. They can be quite shameful, and they can be quite interesting and deep, and there's a sort of magic to the stories of this world, and I think that dragons and magic and stories all go hand in hand. It reminds me of Robin Hobb. I hope I've not got my bar set too high because she is my favourite author, but the concept sounds very different, so hopefully I will just go into this and really enjoy it. I think it's about a badass female character, so that's always good, and dragons. Dragons, dragons, dragons. The next one I picked up is a book that was written by one of the authors who was at the event. This is Blackwing, and it's by Ed McDonald. It comes out in July of this year, and I'm quite excited about this one because it's kind of pitched as a slightly grimdark fantasy, which is cool. I believe the author is actually a historian, so hopefully that means it's quite a detailed grimdark, and it says for fans of Joe Abercrombie, Patrick Rothfuss, Sanderson and Scott Lynch. Yes. It says it's set in a world called The Misery, which is a wasteland, and it's a corrupted frontier between the Republic and the Deep Kings, who are these two different races of people, I guess. We follow a character called Captain Ryholt Galharrow. That's hard to say, and he is kind of someone who tracks down deserters and spies who flee into the Misery. Apparently it's quite a twisted place, and presumably there's some magic and stuff that happens there. There's also this kind of raven character and the shadowy figure on the front, so that's kind of creepy. But yeah, I'm excited. The author was absolutely lovely. The way he spoke and stuff, he just made me like him instantly, so I hope that the book is good. Fingers crossed it will be, and of course I will report back when I read this one because, yeah, it's a floppy paperback as well. The next one is one I've had my eye on for a little bit, and that is Stranger of Tempest, which I think is a fairly new release. It's by Tom Lloyd. I haven't read any Tom Lloyd yet, although I fully intend to because, again, I do think I'm going to enjoy his work. This one is book one in the God Fragments series, and there's a little quote on the back from the book that I'm just going to read to you because I think it's quite funny. For a damsel in distress, she was rather more spattered with someone else's blood than Lynx had expected. And naked. Very naked. Well, she demanded. Lynx could only gape a while longer. Finally, his words spilled out in an unabashed mumble. Come to rescue you, miss. You'll have to wait, she snapped at the knot of mercenaries crowded in the doorway. I'm busy. I hope that means that we have a pretty awesome female character in the book. I'm not certain. Honestly, I don't know much more about it than that, but there's this really creepy character on the front, and I think there's a gun there as well, so I'm guessing it's a kind of flintlocky one. It sounds good. There's a lot of good quotes on the back from people that I enjoy, so hopefully I will like this book too. Let me know if you've read this one or any of Tom Lloyd's work. The next two books I picked up I already own copies of, but not these copies, so I wanted them. And that is Neuromancer by William Gibson. This is the SF Masterworks. It's a hardback edition, very cool. I haven't read this one yet, but of course I know it is a kind of staple in the sci-fi genre, so I'm very intrigued to do so at some point, and I now have two beautiful copies of it. The other one that I'm even more happy to have is one I have already read, and this is Ursula K. Le Guin's The Left Hand of Darkness, which is now an SF Masterwork too. I adore the cover of this. It's kind of the yin and yang, and it shows the planet of winter, which is where the whole thing is set. It's a very wintry landscape, and I think it's a very apt cover design. I love it, and I just adored this book when I read it, so I'd certainly recommend it, and now it's out in this beautiful new SF Masterworks edition. Even more reason to pick it up, and because they look awesome together as always. Next up, I have a book that I requested from Picador, and that is Swimmer Among the Stars, which is a short story collection by Kanishk Thoreau, I believe. The cover of this is absolutely stunning, and at the moment I heard it was a short story collection, I was very intrigued because I do love short stories, and I haven't really tried any recently, so I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I'm hoping to do a buddy read of this with two of my friends, so that should be wonderful. It says, an interview with the last speaker of a language, a chronicle of the final 7 days of a town that is about to be razed to the ground by an invading army, the lonely voyage of an elephant, Kerala to a princess's palace in Morocco, a fabled cook who flavours his food with precious stones, a coterie of international diplomats trapped in near-Earth orbit, a stunning collection of short stories from a remarkable new writer. It sounds good to me. I'm down. Very excited to check this one out and hopefully review it very soon for you guys. The next book I picked up because I said the other day I was going to do a kind of online spur-of-the-moment purchase just because I felt like it, and I asked a lot of my reviewer friends what they would recommend I read, and you guys on Twitter all answered. So one of the ones I got most requests for or recommendations for is this one, City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, which honestly I should have read ages ago, I'm sure, because I have a feeling I'm gonna like it from how much other people who have similar tastes to me like it. I do think I will enjoy this. I don't know very much about it, and I kind of want to keep it that way because I feel like it's going to be one of those books that's best kept as a surprise. But there is a quote from Brent Weeks on the cover which says, "A story that draws you in, brilliant world building, and oh my god, Sigrid. You guys are gonna love Sigrid," which sounds pretty cool to me. I'm very intrigued. Yeah, I don't want to know much more, but I'm excited. The next one I picked up is also one I'm really excited about, and this was recommended to me by Eleanor from Eleanor Reads Books. It is Dreadnought by April Daniels, and it's the book one in the Nemesis series. This book features a trans lesbian main character, which is something that you don't see very often in fantasy, so that immediately was a reason for me to pick it up. But also it's got a jaw-droppingly beautiful cover, and it's gorgeous the whole way round. It also features superheroes, I believe, and that sounds pretty cool. It's about a superhero called Dreadnought who falls out of the sky in front of our main character, Danny, and just before he dies, he passes over his mantle to Danny, who is a transgender character, as I say, and Danny has to take up the mantle of being Dreadnought, as well as dealing with all the other sort of teenage angst problems that come with sexuality and gender and things like that. It sounds absolutely fascinating and wonderful, and I've heard from Eleanor that it's beautiful and moving as well, so I'm really excited to give it a go, and I can't wait to do that. Very, very happy to have it. The next one I picked up just because I found it in Waterstones and I was having a little mooch around the shelves, and that is this one, The Ginny Falls in Love and Other Stories, which is by Mavdesh Murad and Jared Shurin. This one, again, I've not really heard anyone talk about it, but I loved the cover and that was a major reason for me picking it up. It says, "Imagine a world filled with fierce fiery beasts hiding in our shadows, in our dreams and under our skins. Eavesdropping and exploring, savaging our bodies, saving our souls, they are monsters, saviours, victims, childhood friends. Some have called them genies. These are the Jinn. And they are everywhere. On street corners, behind the wheel of a taxi, in a chorus, between the pages of books. Every language has a word for them. Every culture knows their traditions. Every religion, every history has them hiding in dark places. There is no part of the world that does not know them. They are the Jinn. They are amongst us. And this contains stories from Nnedi Okorafor, Neil Gaiman, KJ Parker, Kirsty Logan, Claire North, and like many other people as well. All of these different authors. So yeah, seems like a good collection. The next one I picked up is actually a graphic novel, and I picked this one up because I got chatting to the guy who was in Waterstones at the time, and he said that this was one of his all-time favourite ever graphic novels, and I'd never heard of it, so I thought I better give it a go. It is Susceptible, and it's by Genevieve Castries, I believe her name is. Apparently it's kind of the story of her life, and it says a trans-Canadian exploration of identity from a multi-talented artist. Goglu is a daydreamer with a young working mother, a disengaged stepfather, and a father who lives 5,000 miles away. Drawing, punk rock, and the promise of true independence guide Goglu to adulthood, whilst her home's daily chaos inevitably shapes her identity. Susceptible is a devastating graphic novel debut by Genevieve Castries about the heartbreaking loss of innocence when a child is forced to be an adult amongst the grown-ups. You can see the inside, it has pencil drawings, which is kind of my favourite thing, and it's all handwritten as well, which is awesome. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to giving this a go, probably when the next Getting Graphic Readathon rolls around, which is June, so not that far off. I will give this one a good go. So that's that. And the final one I have to show you today is one I picked up because of Mercedes. She was talking about some of the books that she absolutely loves that have multiple POVs or interesting plot structures and narratives, and one of the ones that she mentioned is this one. It is The Post-Birthday World by Lionel Shriver. I know she loves Lionel Shriver as an author, and I've never read any of her work, so I thought I should. And The Post-Birthday World is apparently about this couple who, I believe they go on a date, or they're supposed to go on a date, and they end up not having their partners there because of various different reasons. And it's about this woman who has this choice when her husband can't come with her to this double date, whether or not she should stay and go on a date with the guy who is there, or whether she should just go home and continue her life as it is. And I think it then splits into two storylines where we see what happens when she does stay and she ends up dating this guy, and we see what happens when she doesn't and she goes back to her regular life. I'm very intrigued about the dual narrative kind of thing, and apparently this is a good example of it working well, according to Mercedes. So hopefully that is true, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It is a tome. It's pretty big. Didn't realise it was going to be this big when I ordered it, but it's about 600 pages. So hopefully I like it. I'm not a huge sort of literary contemporary reader, and I feel like this is a bit of that, whereas, you know guys, that I like fantasy. But the fact that it's a dual narrative and it's got these two POVs about what could have happened, I kind of think that's slightly speculative. So I'm intrigued, and hopefully I will like it. And I got this as a second-hand copy just off Amazon, but apparently it's signed by the author, which is awesome. So yeah, it is. That's cool. So there you go. That is the final one that I picked up for this haul. Do let me know in the comments if there are any here you're really excited about. Thank you to Orion and Picador for sending me books and hosting the event. That was awesome. Very excited to get into all of these, so leave me comments about which ones you want me to read first. And I will see you all very soon in my next video. Thank you all for watching. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me.